I guess since we just talked a tiny bit about how Nina Turner turned out to be an ineffectual politician, I don't want to put these two in the same breath. Briahna Joy Gray and Nina Turner are in two entirely different wavelengths, okay? I have like operational disputes with Nina Turner. There are problems I have with how she manages things, but I think fundamentally she's a good person, whereas Briahna Joy Gray is a moral black hole. Anyway, here's a clip.
Is there any kind of sense that there might be more of a case to extend grace in this situation as opposed to some others? I think so. And I do wonder what Russell Brand might say differently in this situation in terms of speaking honestly about the things he's been accused of. If the frame...
To be clear again, the Russell Brand actually assaulting people thing is like so well substantiated that arguing against it is almost like in and of itself a red flag. Like it is like tons and tons of text messages and like people going to clinics and reporting stuff at the time and being dropped by his agent and like open secret in some sort of, like, it is not even remotely like a he said she said at all, you know? She interviewed Marjorie Taylor Greene the other day. She's basically a righto. She is a righto. Yeah, no, she's a fascist. Her only goal is to preserve the monetary ties that she can hold by being completely uniformly and unambiguously anti-democrat, and that just naturally makes you a fascist. If there are two political wings in a country and one of them is liberal democracy and the other is fascism, and you are fervently against the former, you will naturally gravitate towards the latter and make arguments along with them.
Weren't, we got to get this guy off.
Still find it really weird that FD Signifier uncritically platformed her in his videos. Yeah, that is kind of curious, isn't it?
Off of air. And if he admits to it, that's even more reason to get him off of air. And if it were instead, you know, allowing the victims to come forward in a safe space where maybe they don't have to be anonymous because also they're not being targeted, which is a thing that happens to victims, and actually be able to articulate what they want out of Russell Brand. What do the victims want in all of this? And if it's the case that they just wanted to weaponize the real trauma that they experienced to help get Russell Brand off the air, well, then I'm not sympathetic to that.
Right.
Hear what she's saying? She's not arguing that Russell Brand didn't abuse them. She's saying he did abuse them. And like, hey, victims, what do you even want, dude? Like, whoa, you're trying to silence his free speech by getting him off the air? The guy who like actually abused a bunch of you, including like very young girls? Well, then I'm not sympathetic. Yeah, like, what do you even want? This isn't just like denying the allegations. This is saying, oh, even if they did happen, I still think you're in the wrong because, you know, your censorious anti-free speech attitude is actually more socially destructive than all the sexual abuse and stuff. Yeah, what are you getting out of this, victims? That's the real question. Why isn't the media answering this simple question? Who stands to benefit from this, if not victims? The victim industrial complex has gone too far and challenged too powerful of an opponent. We will get to the bottom of this by finding out, what do you want? They say, to not be raped. Well, that's what they say. But is it possible they also don't want you to be a super famous, powerful, wealthy celebrity with no criticisms directed against you? Curious.
If they want criminal penalties, as some of these people seem to want, then let's let that take its course. But if they want something more personalized, an explanation and real absolution, and for him to maybe give money to certain kind of charities.
Or a direct apology. Yeah.
A direct apology, exactly. Then I would like there to be space for that. And given how all of this is being weaponized, it just honestly doesn't feel like there's a space for any of that.
Yeah, I mean, what troubles me so...
That's the real problem, Russell Brand says, with sexually abusing lots and lots of girls through your career. You know, the real problem is that when you eventually get found out for it after years of lying about it and a desperate cover-up by framing it all as a mainstream media attack against your independent credibility, the victims of your persistent sexual abuse won't just, you know, clearly tell you what they want so you can make the problem go away.
So much about not just this case, but many of the MeToo cases was that there wasn't really...
Here we go. Now we're going to bring it back to MeToo cases in general. There we go.
...care for the victim at all. Mm-hmm. It really was about using media platforms, using the arm of government, using big tech censorship as a tool of control.
Normally the narrative is It's a he said, she said. We can't know for sure, so you shouldn't attack someone in the meantime. But in this case, it seems to be, even if we know the person's a rapist, any social consequence faced by them is like big tech censorship, actually. You know? This isn't just like rape apologia. It's kind of just pro. Like, it sort of is. It's basically saying that, like, oh, if you did a bunch of sexual assault, like, okay, well, let's be responsible here and just quietly ask for apologies and not throw a big fuss about it, you know? Are these supposed to be lefties? Yes. According to them, yes. BJG on Reed, on Tara Reid. Oh, you mean the Russian agent who Briahna Joy Gray spent years amplifying the accusations of, even though they were like completely baseless? Yeah, I remember. I recall. This is the full segment. Do you want to tear it to shreds? I don't really want to tear. What is there to tear to shreds? They're literally saying, like, yeah, even if he did sexually abuse a bunch of people, the real victim here is still Russell Brand because people want to censor Russell Brand. Like, they're not even doing. I feel like it's, if anything, considered good form to have an intermediary step where you pretend you don't believe the allegations. Skipping that step and going straight to, I believe the allegations and I still am taking the side of the abuser, is like, what am I even supposed to say about that? You know? Like, how do I even respond to that? This Amber person wrote a book called The Snowflakes Revolt, How Woke Millennials Hijacked American Media. No, Amber Athey. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was Kim Iverson. I'm sorry, I didn't even look at the name. I was just looking at the face. Does she not look like Kim Iverson? Tell me that's not just me. I feel like they look pretty similar. No? Are you face blind? Am I thinking of the right person? Maybe it's just because they have similar hair? Oh, come on, guys. Really? You're gonna Voshega me over this? Whatever. Like, it's Rising. Kim Iverson has often been here. Totally different face, come on. Whatever. Anyway, I'm sure this Amber person is a ghoul, too. Nah, they the same. Nope, I saw one person who agreed with me, and now we are warriors for truth in an ocean of delusion and doubt. Okay? I thought it was actually Kim Iverson too. Thank you, JLK2317. Much appreciated. Chat, this is proof Vosh doesn't see race. Yeah, seriously, look at that.